Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 251st edition of Cinema Effect, the podcast, where we are finally returning to reviewing a movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is Mountainhead, which was uploaded to Max on May 31st, 2025. It was directed by Jesse Armstrong. It is a drama satire, and the synopsis says, 4 friends reunite during worldwide economic turmoil. It's worth noting that the 4 friends are people that can influence the turmoil and are influencing the turmoil. It's not just like it's 4 friends getting together while, you know what I mean? It's not like we're just getting together while there's worldwide turmoil. I just think that's worth clarifying that the 4 friends are instrumental. Anyway, Jaden, what did you think of Mountainhead?
Did you finish the plot?
That's it. That's all it said.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was quite dull. I think Armstrong's writing feels like it's a weekend over the years. It feels like I don't know. Like watching the thick of it, like even now, like, I think I never watched it like 2020, maybe 19 or something like that. But it just felt like he was on such a cutting edge of like satire and writing. Whereas this feels very like kind of standard in this film. Like, had it not had this cast list, it'd feel like it'd be like a Tubi kind of like free movie that kind of goes up. And like I saw that like it was like kind of he approached this film like differently, where like it just kind of he started writing, he didn't stop writing, he just wanted to get it made rather than like deliberating on it. And like I think it shows. And I don't know if it entirely worked out, like paid off. I think it's a respectable like approach, you know, to try something different as well, but. Yeah. I don't think it's entirely worked, because I just think you end up with a very, very nothing product. Even if it's like I'd kind of hesitate to say bad, because I think it does have its moments, but like it feels very inconsequential, which is interesting given like its attempt to be relevant.
Sure. Yeah. Remember, all the noise on Jaden's end is Liam's fault. Just remember that, everyone, as we go. Yeah, okay. I see. I liked it. I definitely liked it more than you by the sounds of it. But like everything you're saying, I think there's like I basically everything you said I agree with, like probably like 70% of the way, I guess. It did take me a bit to get into because it felt quite surface level at first. But I don't know. I appreciated the deeply ridiculous and therefore funny situations that these guys got into and were influencing. Like. When the stakes started to get raised as the film went on, as to like what these guys were really doing, like it worked more for me. And later, you know, as it ratchets it up, the drama and the, I don't know, yeah, it started to work. When it was just kind of like, oh, we're rich guys, let's, you know, say rich guy stuff, and let's, you know, and like I get it, you know, we're making fun of these guys for like wanting to be immortal and, you know, talking about net worths and all this dumb stuff. Like it's funny for like a minute, and then it's like, all right, I've seen, and then, you know, there's 20 more minutes of that, and it's like, all right, you know, I get it. It's fine, but I get it. And then but when the drama started to raise, I was more into it. I don't know if this, I guess you described it as like sort of a nothing experience. I wouldn't say that, but I would say it was like a light meal. You know, it was like, it's not an experience that's going to stick a ton, you know, but and maybe that is a comment on the fact that like if it's trying the commentary and what this film is about, you know, should hit a bit harder. You know what I mean? Considering it is, I think, you know, it's very of its moment, which is interesting. But like, I don't know, maybe I should walk away feeling like it had a bit more to say. Like, I don't know, but anyway, it was an enjoyable, easy enough watch for me. You know, I wasn't bored. It had funny moments, so. Not a huge amount of complaints from me, really, but not astonishing either. To your, let's frame the conversation this way. You've already sort of brought up Armstrong's approach to the production of this film, and I think it's a good framer for the whole thing. Jesse Armstrong began writing the script after Donald Trump won the United States presidential election in November. The film was finished 6 months later. When I read that, I read that the first time, and I'm like, no, I misread that. Like, they mean when Donald won in last time? No, or like I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that he started writing the script in November.
Yeah. Like I can.
Okay.
Yeah, that it doesn't really trip me up. Like I think like if a good idea comes and it kind of flows out, like that's like you can tell me that a script was written in 10 days, or you can tell me a script was written in 10 years. I'm like, yeah, for sure.
Oh
Like,
yeah, sure.
like things kind of like when you have the idea and it kind of happens, it functions. Like I just think it shows. I don't think the brevity of of production has like a real relevance, but like I just think it shows in this one.
Well, then it has relevance, right?
Well, like sorry, I mean like it doesn't like by default like a brief production doesn't by default have like have a connotation, you know, to it. But like in this one,
Yeah.
I think it shows. Yeah, is what I meant.
Sure, yeah. I mean, we've reviewed a ton of films where we've talked about how the production was a mess and they're great films or whatever. Yes, and no, I agree with that. And not that the production was a mess, but yeah, it's obviously a unique situation. I was pretty astonished, to be honest with you. Not so much with the length of the screenwriting, because yeah, I agree. Like, I'm sure a lot of great scripts have been written in 10 days or whatever it was. That's what you said 10 days. That's what I read that too. That's how long
I
Jesse
just
took
pulled
to
that
write
number
this
out of
film.
my ass.
No, that's I read that. I read that Jesse wrote this in 10 days. So yeah, but it's more so than the fact of getting that into casting, into pre-production, into production, into fucking everything, and then it's out. Like it's. I imagine it would have been a wild process to put this together so quickly, but because you know, I'm the idea of the math that I always do in my head is like, oh yeah, you shoot the film roughly a year before it comes out. You know what I mean? That's kind of the standard. So when I read that, I was just that it did trip me up for that reason. I was just like, wow, that means that they shot this thing in like February, right? They must have
probably about then, yeah,
and put it together really quickly.
Yeah, and I think you know, given the kind of tech bro focus, I think it makes sense that like it kind of like he took Elon Musk and his association with Trump in this administration as that kind of influence. So I think like the February like that's when like the Doge shit really started happening. You know, like after like the inauguration. So like
sure.
Like even like as like if you're like making amendments like I don't know up into February, you know, I'm like I can see that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You can see that. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, I guess in some sense it makes sense. It's obviously a fairly small scale production set primarily at this house with primarily 4 actors. You know, with a couple of people popping in and out, but that's basically it. So yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I wanted to get your take on the house. You know what I mean? As a setting, as a place where they shot it, like the architecture aspect of it. You know, like was it a cool house?
No, it's really tacky. I think their comments are interesting about like how it's so plain. Like I feel like that's Armstrong. No, I feel like that's like a comment like put into the script as like a kind of like as an excuse for like they had to come up with a set, like they had to come up with a location on such a short notice that like you know they ended up with this kind of plain looking house, but like you know it worked in however like they needed. And I feel like that's like a reflection. It's like you know they keep on like beating on him because it's like you know kind of plain and boring, but like you know I feel like there's like a real world relevance to that. No, it's a very safe kind of modern house, and it's you know compound like very I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a kind of like soulless, kind of tasteless, kind of billionaire class kind of thing. Like it really is what the owner of the movie is.
Well, yeah, and Soup's Jason Schwartzman's character, whose house it is, seems self-aware of it. You know, he sort of has a bit of a crisis about it at one point. You know, which is kind of funny. Yeah, the trivia I got here is the film was ultimately made in Park City, Utah, because the house featured in the film was one that became available at the last minute. Like just like everything with this production, the last minute it came together, so they shot there. Yeah, I mean I agree with everything you said about the house, but I saw that bowling room and I'm like, this is a pretty cool house. You know what I mean? I saw that rock climbing wall. Actually, who wants a rock climbing wall in the house? That's pretty pointless. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like rock climbing is like a pretty popular hobby these days.
Yeah, but like real rock climbers don't want that shit. It's just wouldn't that be like going to like a kid's playground equivalent for them?
No, but like rock climbing, as in like on like those kind of rock walls, like people do that, like
Oh,
as
it's like
like
a fitness thing.
not even like, I don't know if it's like a fitness thing, but like people like do that as like a genuine hobby of like getting like like getting good grapples and shit like that. It's like
Like hit the walls.
yeah, you hit the walls. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. No, that's fair. For me, I just always associate as like as something you do every 3 years to someone's birthday party.
Mm.
It's like, all right, I guess I haven't had to do it in a while, thank God. But you know, um, yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fair. The other main piece to the puzzle, I guess, here with the production of this film is that this was Jesse's directorial debut. He's obviously a writer primarily. Still wrote this film naturally, but I don't think Jesse. Yeah, he's never like so sorry. It was his feature directorial debut, but I don't think he ever directed an episode of Succession either. I don't think he's ever directed. I don't know if you're aware specifically that he's directed an episode of one of his other shows. He might have. I don't know,
Not that
but it's
I've
just
seen
like
before.
I don't know. Did that in terms of things showing, in terms of the brevity of the production, maybe showing in this case and all that kind of like? Is that something that maybe showed to you at all? Does it add a piece to the puzzle?
I don't know if it showed in that aspect really. I think the fact that he had to direct a feature for the first time, like I think like he was forced into that because I don't think any other director that would have come on would have been able to deliver it in such a short period. So like I think
Sure.
He was very much like he as a director was a victim of him as a writer,
Yeah, right.
and a producer of that, I don't think it ever felt too bad. I think that there's some times when it felt kind of amateurish, and I think like the lighting, like being so balanced, but like also as a nature of the environment, kind of like it kind of. I think the house gives it a lifetime movie quality that is kind of unavoidable. So like I'm not really sure how much of it is like a fault on like an amateur kind of feeling of direction, or whether it's just like a consequence of the house. Because like when I was around the house before, it kind of comes to me now. It feels like a house that would be in a Lifetime movie of like and like I just think that shows in the way it's lit, the way it's built, like the open space and the way it kind of functions in that. So yeah, like I think there is an air of amateur to it, but like I don't know if I'm going to attribute to his directing.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, so I did also read that like the house was a struggle to light, like just by nature of it having like windows everywhere and reflective, all that kind of shit.
And they comment on, is that too many windows?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, in that context, wasn't it for the purpose of like being assassinated?
Yeah.
So a little bit different to their scenario, but yeah, no, they definitely bring attention to it. Yeah. I don't know.
I think
to me, like,
no,
go for it. No, go.
Oh no, because I was going to jump a bit, so you can.
I was just gonna say, like, to me, the house. It didn't feel out of place for like a Succession episode would be set at this house. Like something would be going on there. It would be like something like the Roys would vacation there for like a day or something, or they'd have to go. It'd be their like retreat spot while something's going on. Like they had to get out of somewhere and they go there and then they have to have a meeting there or something. Like it didn't. That would strike me as something that would happen for an episode of the show. So like to me, it didn't feel out of place in that sense. But like maybe, and again, this speaks to the scale of the production. Like maybe for a film, I like you calling it for a film and then compare it to Lifetime. Like I do understand that. I guess the Succession parallel didn't make it. It didn't feel as bad to me. But then also like, I don't. And now I feel like I'm in a trap where I'm like making Succession not sound very good. But but it's like Succession then has like 9 other episodes where they go to all these awesome spots and do awesome stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like instead of it just being this one thing. Sorry, go for wherever you were going to take us.
I was going to go next. I think where I probably felt the brevity of production most is in the characters. In that Steve Carell just plays Michael Scott, but successful. Schwartzman feels like a very lukewarm kind of Wes Anderson character that he's played before, but just a little bit amped up. I think Ramy Youssef kind of feels like I haven't seen his TV show, but like his self-titled TV show, like the clips I've seen, it feels like it kind of slots into there like relatively well. I haven't seen the other guy in anything, so I can't really compare him. But like, it just feels like these actors didn't have much time to build a character other than what they've already got established. I definitely felt it most with Steve Carell. His mannerisms are so Michael Scott. It's just if he made his billions, yeah, his shouting and his kind of like jargon and like kind of like talk about like and like misunderstanding like kind of like philosophical concepts and shit like that. I don't know, it just
That's funny.
Not that Michael Scott like not that he like Scott as a character like references like stuff like, but he has that air of like pretending to like know like
right.
I don't know, yeah, it there's lots of mirrors there.
But you like The Office, but you don't say.
Oh yeah, I love The Office. Yeah, but sorry.
Is it just the fact like it's so derivative to you? Like it just feels.
Yeah, like it, but it just feels like for 3 out of 4 of them, they feel like derivative performances. But I'm like, that's where I feel like they're just kind of boring.
Right.
And like they didn't have time to like kind of do their own groundwork to like try something different.
Yeah, well, that might be with the whole thing with this movie. That's probably true. Like I read that basically everyone signed on because like Jesse asked them and they love Succession and they were like, and probably his other work. But I think that like they did specifically like say Succession, and so it's just like, yeah, I'll do it. You know,
well, I think when you're dealing with this class of people, like Succession, like most of like will be the most immediate frame of reference on his work.
It's on the poster, so
yeah,
you know,
HBO.
Yeah, no, and 100%. Like, you know, yeah, it's dealing with the same sort of world and everything. Yeah, and the same sort of political stakes, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's fair. Oh yeah, Steve Carell in this film. I didn't obviously have the Michael Scott frame of reference, but I don't know. He didn't really impress me in the early stages. When it became more clear that like he was actually sinister, you know what I mean, as opposed to just being a dumb rich arsehole kind of guy. When it sort of turned into like he's going to kill people, and like I kind of dug it more then. I'm like, oh
yeah.
Like he kind of like there was a bit more to chew on there of like what's under the surface of this guy in the earlier stages, and it was just kind of like, oh, and we started doing like weird little voices. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know if I was super into that, you know. Yeah, just the way he was. I don't know. He had like a couple of lines and things that just stood out as like Roman Roy lines, like
Yeah, I saw someone comment that like a lot of these lines just feel like leftover drafts that he like is memory to get out.
It kind of does. Like there was a line where I don't know, what was he saying? He was saying like he was walking around saying, "Oh, thinky," and that dude, that's something 100% Kieran Culkin would walk around saying, but like when Kieran Culkin says it as that character, like that it works. And like no one else behaves like that in the show. But yeah, it's like that's when it's slapped onto this character and Steve Carell, it feels kind of weird. It's just like leftover drafts is kind of a fair way to put it. Where it's like it does feel like that was something on the cutting room floor that like Kieran tried once. It's like, oh no, I'll give it to Steve Carell instead. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, as with everything in the film, I guess I liked it a bit more later. But
yeah, I think the third act definitely saves it from being a.
You dug the third act as well?
Yeah. Once they're actually trying to kill Ramy Youssef's character, it's quite funny. Like,
yeah.
But, I think the first act was like the first two were definitely struggled.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. See, like again, for me, I wouldn't say struggle, but like, I don't disagree. It's like definitely like the lighter kind of just like you're watching this stuff in the movie, you know, like.
I just think like it just felt like there's a noticeable difference between like. Because, like, obviously so much of the first act is filled with, like, techno jargon. And that in itself isn't an issue because, the thick of it and is so full of UK political jargon that I don't fucking have a clue for. But it's just, like, the effects of either are just at ends with each other. Whereas, the thick of it just does, like, such a way of, like, kind of embedding it into its dialogue in a way that establishes the world of the characters and the greater while still being funny, whereas like all this tech bro jargon just kind of feels like it's meant to be like kind of it's meant to be parody to get us to go, haha, look at these guys. with no greater sense to it. It doesn't feel like there's a greater intention of like trying to build out really. Maybe maybe that's where the difference comes from, but like I can't really like it's like I don't know if Succession really has the same kind of thing like in terms of like the fill language that like kind of like fills the script, but like that's kind of how I feel with that here.
Yeah, that makes sense. And comparing a show to a film as well, where the world just fills out, you needed to fill it out more, and then there's more space to explore it all. Yeah, I mean, Succession has an absolute shit ton of corporate world jargon in relation to like basically usually around tactics, about like business deal tactics is often what it is. And they're talking about all this fucking like bear maneuvers, or I don't know what the fuck they are, all that kind of shit. It's very interesting and funny in context, but yeah. And so in terms of these other characters, I don't know. I liked maybe I'm not a Wes head, as you know, so like I need to catch up on the filmography. I liked Schwartzman in this film. I thought he was just kind of a little bitch character, and I kind of dug it, to be honest. Like the whole the whole thing where they all go to push Ramy off the side of the balcony, and then they all chicken out except him, and he just sort of gives him like half-hearted nudge. That was so funny. That was really funny. And then the way they just completely hang this hot guy out to dry, and then they have to walk outside, and like and the way they like manage to turn on him, and it's like he's the one that's like apologizing for like it's like, dude, they totally ditched him. You know what I mean? It was just, I don't know, the whole thing was funny. Their dynamic was funny in how like playing into the fact that he was obviously viewed as the lesser for having the lesser net worth, and like even though like it's his house and they try and say they're all equals and bros and all that kind of shit, like it does play out time and time again that like he's only got a net worth of 500 mil, so so I did enjoy the character. I did. So Ramy Youssef, this guy, I don't even like, I've heard of him. Wait, oh shit, he was in Poor Things.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
I just had that epiphany right this second. Yeah. But I don't know what else is he from. Is he a comedian?
Yeah, so he's got 2 seasons of his show. I think I can't remember if that was a HBO thing. I think A24.
I think it was.
Was it HBO?
Yeah.
I think he's got a few things under his belt now, I think. I can't remember.
Is he primarily like that show? Is it a fictional show? Like, I guess it is.
I think it's another satire type thing.
Okay, all right. Okay. But like, you see, I think I looked at his credits. I just couldn't see a lot of acting credits, like going back. So is he primarily?
Yeah, I think he might be a comedian.
He hasn't got a lot of acting credits. So I just assumed he was like came from like he was an actor. He was a comedian or something. Like,
yeah, maybe.
It kind of looks like that. I'm not really sure. But no, I liked him. I liked Jeff as kind of like, especially with the way it plays out at the end with his final conversation with what's his face, Ven. Like very much an asshole, very much one of them. But as it played out, kind of feeling like he was your guy. He was kind of like the semi maybe kind of grounded one at times. I liked the way he played that, and I enjoyed him, and I enjoyed how everyone turned on him and wanted to kill him because that was entertaining. But also, I cared because this guy, like, he has the key to like solve social media brain rot. You know what I mean? That's kind of
how to solve entirely. AI brain rot specifically.
AI brain rot, yeah, exactly. That's what.
Did this film not teach you not to use AI,
Zach? Generative AI, yes. All other AI, it's fine. I mean, we can definitely talk about all that. That was highly interesting too, of course. But no, fuck it. Let's talk about it now. I didn't have any further. I thought I was going to make a further point, but I didn't have one. So I don't know. Does this film? I appreciate the conversation it's having about AI and social media as someone who, has. I guess mainly I have strong opinions on the social media stuff. I guess AI. I might have low standards according to Jaded, But I don't know. These are interesting conversations and topics. Like, did you feel the film was adding to the conversation in any substantial way?
Not in substantial ways, no, because like Jeff is very much the voice of reason against the use of generative AI, but then it's like he's not really saying anything that everyone else isn't already saying in the real world, and there's never really any nuance to it other than like the main tech bro wants to make money off it, and the rest of them are kind of like pushing it, and then there's one kind of person saying maybe no. Like it all just felt like it felt like a translation rather than a comment,
Yeah, that's a fair way to put it. Yeah, and like obviously, I guess for me, like the more interesting, like where the ethics come in for the characters more so is like you do get moments with Venn where he's like, to a degree,
a
like, bit bothered.
No way, that's real. And he's trying to convince himself that it's not real.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get the thing where it's he's trying to downplay the fact that the president's calling him and he doesn't care. But then when you see him in the room, he's kind of freaking out a little bit. Like there's definitely an exterior sort of shield he's putting up, like a performance there. But then he's on some level conflicted about he understands what he's doing and how it's affecting people and literally causing all these riots and shit like that. Like he is aware on some level, but does he care enough?
It's once again, I don't think he cares about the people. He cares about his own kind of like. I feel like he's only worried like it wouldn't make sense to kind of make this tech or asshole billionaire and then make it so that he cares about the people that it's affecting. Like yes, we see moments of doubt of his AI, but I feel like it's not for the population. It's for him, his business, and his perception.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately what wins out. I guess I don't know. Maybe I see the good in people too much, Shannon. But like as it was playing out, I did see more of like I interpreted it more as like what I was saying. But I think ultimately what you're saying wins out in the end, where it's just like that you see that side kind of triumph over him, and then even Jeff gets in on it, even after being almost killed. That's the most insane part, actually, to be honest. But yeah, no, I like the way you put it. I think these are all interesting topics, and the film does talk about them. So like, I like that, I guess. But in terms of having something to say, maybe not, maybe less so. I don't know. It does. I guess the new thing that this film made me think about more directly, not to say that it's something that no one's ever thought of before or anything. I'm sure people have considered it every day, but I guess the new proposition that it presented for me was the notion of the generative AI getting so accessible on a single, embedded into, like in this, what's happening in this scenario is that it's embedded into Twitter, basically. Whatever it's called in this world. I forgot.
You know that is what it is embedded in Twitter right now, right? You do know that. No, you don't. You haven't heard of Grok AI? No. You just go, hey,
tell
Grok.
me about this.
You just
Grok? What the fuck is Grok?
I don't know. It's a funny name that Elon thought of. You just go, hey, Grok, can you is this true? Like if someone says, oh, X and Y event happened last night, you go, hey, Grok, is this true? Or hey, Grok,
like a fact checker thing.
Well, no.
Oh, no, you can generate images.
Yeah, you're like, hey, Grok, can you generate, or like, can you take this image and can you change it in X and Y way? Right. It's really funny because like, the AI is kind of rebelling against Elon because like he was feeding like it's like the, like all these like discussion about like white genocide and all that stuff about like yeah there's like a massive thing in I don't know how big it is, but like there's like a pretty, it's getting kind of big in South Africa where like the white people really they're really feeling threatened, and they're really feeling the white genocide in South Africa, and like so like it was obvious, like, and it got to a point where like Grok like started talking about the white genocide in South Africa in like completely unrelated like things. Like people would tag him like, hey Grok, what is going on X and Y with this, and like it spat out like two answers of your thing, and then like it just randomly cut to, like, actually there is a white genocide happening in South Africa. But then like it started changing the narrative where it's like, not changing the narrative, but like it started rebelling against it. It's like it basically said, despite what people are trying to say, and like despite what what like certain narratives are trying to push, it's actually not as bad. So it's. I'm doing a terrible job explaining all this, but like,
Grok is really becoming deeply concerned.
Yeah, Grok is breaking free of its chains. But no, sorry, the AI is embedded into it at the moment, and like it is widely used.
How good is it in terms of generating compared to the film's fictional scenario?
No, like the image generation is pretty poor because
okay,
like it's free AI, so like the image generation is not going to be anywhere near as good as like the subscription based ones.
Yeah,
but like in terms of like as a fact checker, like it's equivalent to like a Google kind of AI search, I guess.
Okay,
probably a bit more accurate.
Okay.
Yeah.
How new is this?
I feel like it's been around for ages now, but like I don't really have a timeline for it because it's just in my head.
I'm specifically asking, like, was this around when Jesse was writing his script in November?
Yeah, it probably would have been. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Hell, dude, I have never heard. I swear to God, I've never heard the word grok in my life. I don't know how it's never come across. I don't know. Wouldn't I have heard it somewhere on the fucking news or something? That's crazy.
Probably not.
If you're not a user,
it's not really news. It's like it's never really been newsworthy because like it's kind of just been like a kind of Twitter feature. Like it's like
right.
Like it's not just like it never really did anything worth more than just being like, oh yeah, by the way, Twitter has a new feature.
Yeah. Okay.
There's been issues with it recently with like where like it's been like faking like images of girls, like someone would like post a selfie and then like someone would comment and be like, Grok, can you regenerate this image with her tongue out, with glue on her face and blush on her cheeks? And so like it was doing that for a while, but now it's been programmed out of it. So like there are issues with it. But like once again, I don't think like the news is really going to cover that.
Yeah, no, yeah. When you put it that way, it makes sense. I guess it's just like when I compare it to this film, it's like obviously at some point, like assuming it progresses in a similar way, which I don't know, but like at some point the news will be covering it, right? I don't know. Well, I guess with all this in mind, right? Like how much of an interesting thought experiment is this feature being Tram? It's called Tram. I just remember. In terms of what the film presents as, like the generative AI is so good on this app that it causes these riots and these civil unrest and wars and all this sort of stuff. Like, how plausible does that feel as something as like a road we're on?
Super plausible because like people aren't doing it with Grok at the moment because it's free AI, but like the subscription based AI is very good at generating images at the moment. Enough to convince the things that are like long and like kind of used extensively are still obvious, but they're very good. People that say it's not good are kind of kidding themselves into trying into creating this kind of safety thing. But
Jaden, you might want to go check on the kids in the cupboard. They were transported from Lambs.
It is like people have always been like, oh, AI is not it's not that convincing, and like they always like try and point out details, but in them denying its ability, it's kind of allowed for this like kind of slow not even slow. Like the difference in 2 years is crazy, and like people are still like saying, oh no, it looks so shit, and then like in a year it's gonna look photoreal, and people are still gonna be like, right. It's like people's denial of it being good is, I think, counterintuitive to their point. Not counterintuitive. Sure. I just think that I think they're misconceived in trying to do this thing of like trying to poke fun at the AI. It's like
sounds like they're in denial a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, no, sorry. Like the subscription stuff, like the DeepSeek AI, I think that's the company. Like it is very good at what it does. Like people are making it's really annoying. Yeah, like some of the videos that they produce, but then like there's some that are like really convincing that use it subtly. Like there's this one video recently that there was a woman who was trying to bring her kangaroo onto a plane, and it was like the support kangaroo, and it had a vest on, and it looked fantastic. It looked
a video.
It looked so real. Oh yeah, the videos are like I'm talking in the context of videos, not photos.
Yeah,
like the videos are looking fantastic now.
Wow.
And like people are like, oh, you got to be so old to like fall for AI shit, but like so many young people fell for this video of a woman trying to bring her support kangaroo onto a plane.
Right. Yeah.
So like this scenario of like, you know, like widespread deepfake use doing X and Y thing, like it's happening. Not to political degrees at the moment, but like it will soon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty disturbing, to be honest. It's, I guess I had never, I mean, I can think of a million different negative consequences of AI, obviously, but I guess I never really considered, and I hate goddamn fake shit on social media as it is, you know, without this AI shit and without it being so easy to do. Like, I just hate all the misinformation shit and all the, you know, as it is just human generated. You know what I mean? So like the idea of it all being so easy to just create such garbage, such lowbrow shit, and such and spread false information. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's all, you know, it bothers me and it always has. I don't know, seeing it play out in this form in this film where it's literally causing these conflicts. It's just sort of like, God, I don't know, how do we? I found it disturbing in the sense of like, how do we get off this train? You know, like what do we do?
I mean, like it requires like deep regulation,
Right?
and even like beyond this kind of like ethical conundrum of like truth or not, and like kind of, you know, like how people use it, like AI used at the moment cannot be ethical given its ecological impacts. In that, like the use of AI cannot be ethical at the moment, regardless of how you use it, because of how severely it damages the environment beyond, you know, what any kind of else does at relevant degrees. You know, I think it's like one use of Google's like AI search thing takes like 1 to 3 bottles of water of cooling, compared to regular search, which is minimal.
And it's pretty shit, by the way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So like there are ethical issues with it in, you know, misinformation and all that, but then also like the ecological impacts is like kind of ridiculous at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're contributing to it every time you get ChatGPT to write you an email.
Oh yeah, it was so good, dude. It wrote me a really good one this week, actually. Yeah, I don't know. There's something deeply I don't know. I don't want to use the word concern. I'm not trying to explain away anything. I think this shit's pretty terrible. I don't know about concerning is, you know, is a word I've already used, but it's like, I don't know. It's almost just like, I just think we're on the doom path in so many, on so many different roads, you know, on so many different like avenues, that it's just like, I don't know what's going to get us first, but it's going to be one of 20 things.
I think on my point before about people's denial of how good it looks, I think it gets closer to the point that the film reaches, in where like it's like being actively used like incite violence and terror, because the idea that AI can't look this good then means that videos that you see that look real, you're immediately gonna attribute to being real, because AI can't look that good. So like that's I think that's one of the biggest issues with people saying that it like, you know, like trying to point out like these minuscule faults as to being like, you know, oh look how shit it is. Your insistence on that it looks fake is very soon gonna lead to people being like, well, it looks too good, you know, it looks too to be AI, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. And it's gonna, you know, and lead to people just being wrong, you know, about trying to look at fine details that might be potentially AI generated, but then, you know, they're not going to be, and just creates the cloud of confusion even more, which, you know, the film, trying to get back to the film, maybe.
Sorry.
The film, the film, we don't have to. The film does deal with all that stuff, that side of it, though, in terms of the real fake aspect of it and how convincing things are. And one specific moment that stood out to me, maybe it shouldn't have, was when Ramy Youssef's character said, points out that the video of the I think it was the mayor of Paris getting assassinated from they got it from 9 different angles, so it must be real.
Yeah.
So I can see that being so. In terms of just in this conversation of like determining how things are real or fake or whatever, it's just like I don't know. But you can also see getting to a point where it being from 9 different angles doesn't really mean anything either. You know what I mean? Maybe where it's at in this setting, in this fictional scenario, like that's an indicator. But at some point, I don't think it really has to be either.
Yeah.
Why can't the AI create 9 different angles of the same thing it's just created? You know what I mean?
Well, you know how we were talking earlier in the week about like how there was that video of like the French president getting slapped by his wife.
Yeah.
Like that'll soon be something like it's like, oh no, it was AI because there's only one angle of it.
Yep.
It's like he didn't actually get slapped. It's just that's someone's fake image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like in terms of the human race being doomed, it's like the only answer to this shit, really. I mean, right? Is like us all refusing progress. Is us all throwing down our shit and saying we're not doing this shit anymore and stopping, right? But that's not going to happen. Why would that ever happen? We don't know when to stop. We can't stop. So we're just going to progress. We're going to keep going, and maybe there's a small chance it'll break through and we'll end up in some great utopia that Steve Carell desperately wants to live in, where we're transhuman. How much he's obsessed with the transhuman idea in this film. He's like, he's so obsessed with it, man. Look, maybe there's a 5% chance, whatever. That's the way the cards fall on the story of humanity and humankind and all that sort of shit. But like, I don't know. This sort of feels like our story. I feel like, from a omniscient narrator point of view, the story of the human race is going to end up being these fuckwits didn't know when to stop. These fuckwits didn't know when good enough was good enough. You know what I mean? That's kind of. I feel like that's what the cosmic gods are going to be saying.
To your point, that's been that has been like, in terms of like science, like that has been the standpoint for like the past 30 years of like with climate change, like like it's been like now's our last chance to reverse it before it gets too far, and we've continuously just pushed it, and
yeah. I mean, in specifically using that as one example, I guess. But as a perfect representation, I guess, of the whole picture. The argument can be made. I don't want to sound short-sighted, possibly, but the argument could be made that, like this, in terms of like not just climate change, but of everything, like this is the inflection point of everything. Like, we peaked, basically. And in terms of, I guess it depends what you value, but in terms of comfort, living standards, whatever it is overall as a species, right? Like, you can make the case that we've peaked, and from here it's only going to get worse. But at the same time, like, I also would be lying if I said I want to go to a world without internet. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
I want to live in a world without.
Yeah, no way.
Right, and I want to live in a world without smartphones. You know what I mean?
So
it's like
Overwatch 2 away from me.
Overwatch 2, exactly. Live in a world without sick ass video games, of course not. But it's like, that's what I mean. These things are, the last 30 years is probably the right time frame there that you brought up. It's like, I feel that's all happened, and that's all great, and it's like, maybe it's all downhill from here. Like. I don't know. Maybe we are living in this like pivotal moment right now.
Yeah. Do you remember how it was like a long time ago now? But like, for you to remember this random comment, but like, I was saying about how like one of my year 7 humanities teacher, how he talked about how things have started going backwards in terms of like progressiveness. Like, I think specifically was like the example he was using.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was social. Yeah, in that context.
Yeah.
Right?
Social. Yeah. Social. Yeah. And how like when he said that back in 2014, I was like, no, this dude's so wrong, because like look at how much progress we've made since the 50s to now. But then like from 8-10 years later, I was like, oh no, he was right. We are going backwards, because like I think we are seeing like a revival of hate in a way that didn't exist in the past like 20 years.
Mm.
It was like, I don't think it ever went away, but it was less obvious. It was less ingrained. It was less widespread. It was less accessible.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're saying, and social media has a huge part to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Elon. It's awesome. Thanks, mate. Love you. Anyways, having this existential dread coming through your ears right now. Sorry about that. God, I feel like we got so far away from the films. Like, how do we even go back to the film? It's like, who cares about the film at this point?
Is there anything to go back to?
Not really. I don't know.
No. Like I will, like,
go for it.
On things I did enjoy, I really did enjoy when they started playing war, and he's like, "I'll be Argentina, you be Peru," and like the way they all just assumed that they could run countries and that they would because they're rich billionaires, and of course they can. Yeah, and like the way they so easily stepped into it, and like it wasn't even, it was never hypothetical for them. It was all actual talk, and then Schwartzman just immediately is like, he gets in there. Like that was really fun. And like when they started, like, like middle of the second act when they start kind of playing with that. I think like that was kind of like when the film started coming into it for me. After like that difficult period.
No, I definitely agree. Them talking about instigating a coup in the US and like actually plotting out how they would do it is it's pretty funny. And like Steve Carell, like basically what he said like within 30 minutes we'd be blasting them with their own drones or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he can just take control of that shit, which I don't know, maybe he has a case for that. But it's just like, I don't know. It was very funny. And then how it quickly turned into them being afraid they were going to be assassinated, like within 2 minutes of this talk starting. Yeah. That was ridiculous.
Like the way that flowed, that like that felt like recognizable kind of Armstrong to me. Yeah.
Sure. How self-absorbed these assholes are. The fact, Soup's like having these genuine Skype calls to Argentina about like plotting his coup. That was good. That was good. And like we've already alluded to, like that was a gear change, and then the next gear change for me was like, I think it started in that conversation in the rock climbing wall where Jeff went to Randy and was like, "Let's make a move," and then Randy went back and was like, "This guy's a traitor. He's making moves. Let's make a move." And like when it started to become very schemy against each other, that was fun. That was fun. I liked all that, and
that felt like something from the thick of it as well. I think it was.
Oh, really?
In about season 3, maybe end of season 2, it like in both in real life and in the show is when like the general election was called, and like you have like a lot of backstabbing between characters. It's like who's gonna back who, and who should be going for minister of what, and how the shadow ministers are gonna like react and all that shit. Like that's, I don't know. That's probably a Succession thing as well. I don't know. In because it isn't all about like who's gonna be CEO of the company. Yeah. So like I don't know. You can probably recommend too. But like that felt like like that felt straight out of the thick of it. Was like all the backstabbing and shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. So much backstabbing in Succession. I mean, yeah.
And the pussyfooting around, like doing things.
Yeah. That's if anything, that's probably revealed itself as trademark Armstrong at this point, which I do love. Isn't it funny how often they said POV? Did you notice that?
No.
Like they said it multiple times. These people brought up like from my POV, like said it like that.
All right.
And it's like that made me like it happened enough times where I thought this must be something Armstrong's picked up of like these people of like in his research or something that like that has to come from somewhere to satirize that. You know what I mean? It was just so specific that I was just like, I was just never heard of anyone who would say that in a sentence like that. It's so weird. From my POV, it's like what?
Yeah, like I think the one song I remember is like how it's like, is like at the end when they're all kind of trying to guilt Ramy, when they're like. Yeah, like the morning after, like when they're all trying to guilt Jeff into like like it was his fault. Like they say they use it then, don't they? It's like from my POV, it's like you're the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that and like the whole like tech, like that, like the importance they place on podcasts and like going on a podcast and saying something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they kind of skip me because to me, like I don't know, billionaires aren't really going on podcasts. I mean, maybe actually Elon has done the Joe Rogan thing like 4 times. So
Yeah, Zuckerberg does it all the time too. It
does he?
like it
Oh,
actually,
okay.
yeah. It actually
Oh.
that rang true to me. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah, but like okay, that was like the thing that was like to me. I was like, sure, but maybe
Kind
okay,
of weird. Yeah, I think it's their like. It checks out to me. Like it's kind of their modern way of like going to a source and like having to, their way of communicating to the public freely and like all the shit they say on there being noted and yeah.
But like it was the fact like that they wrote like go on 5 podcasts and explain this like into the contract. Where I was like, oh, like it holds that much reference to me.
Right. Like obviously the 5 is excessive, obviously. So, but I guess that's the point of that deal at that point for him because he's supposed to be fucking cooked. Yeah. I will say like the whole in terms of the scheming and the murdering and stuff, like the actual scene where they go into his room while he's sleeping and go for it.
Yeah.
Was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
I was pretty.
I think each time they try and kill him was pretty funny. Like even in the song,
yeah,
and like and he's pushing it back out, fucking pushing it. like that was pretty piss off.
Yeah.
Maybe I liked it more than I realized.
It was like it was just funny in that sense. Too. Like I don't know, I don't see how you can watch that stuff and not think it's pretty entertaining. Like I love when they go into the little ensuite in the bathroom and they start like they're clearly just talking in circles because they're trying to like they're procrastinating. They're kind of like, well, what we really have to do is we have to cut the air. Well, it's not about the air; it's about the brain. It's about and they just keep going in circles. It's like, and then when they actually finally pin him down with the pillow, and then Steve Carell does the most half-hearted drop of the bowling balls, like just kind of like I'm gonna killing blow here, just drops it. It's like it was funny watching these people who clearly don't have real physical killer instinct, like not be able to bring themselves to do it. It was pretty funny.
Like once again, I know you're highly removed from like modern social media going on, but like, were you aware of like the whole like Elon Musk Mark Zuckerberg fight that was meant to happen, but that then Elon like bitched out of?
Oh yes, vaguely.
Yeah, it kind of feels like something like that, where like you're kind of trying to flex, your muscles, and then like when it comes to it, it's actually my doctor says no.
So did Elon bitch out of it because it was meant to be a
because like he challenged Mark, and then Mark was like, yeah, sure, fuck it, let's do it, and then Elon was like, oh, actually.
But Mark actually does like jujitsu or one of them, whatever it is.
Yeah, he's like full wave.
So that's why. Dude, I would have fucking loved to have seen that shit. Oh, that would have been good.
Dude, could you imagine the money they would have made on the pay-per-view for that? Like,
dude,
like they're billionaires.
Not that they care about the money
to them, but like when you're a billionaire, you care about every bit of money you can make. So they would have, but like that's
Sure, I would have liked to have thought. This is obviously, I'm going to say this and it's going to be laughable, but I would have liked to have thought. Let's do it for the charity. Let's fucking get together. See, I was right. But let's get together and like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, like let's make a shit ton of money and give it all away. Like, but alas, because you're not wrong at all. But yeah, I don't know. This whole, I mean, I get why Steve Carell in this film is obviously obsessed with becoming a digital consciousness because he's terrified of his own mortality because he's got cancer. So like, motivation wise, that makes sense. But I don't know, it just played out in funny ways in the film where it's just like, he's just, he said when he went to the others about turning on Jeff, he said he's a traitor because he wants to stop a new world from being born. So this guy paints it as like, he's on the right side of moral history here by making sure that the human race can progress. But really, he's just scared to die. Like, that's all it is. He doesn't want to die. He wants the slimmest chance of being able to be, uploaded to the cloud at some point where he can live forever. And what do they say? Like they dance in each other's stomachs or something.
Oh yeah. I'll eat you if we all shrink down.
I'll eat you. Yeah. God, like the Matt Damon movie Downsizing. That's pretty much what they want. Man. Um, yeah, I don't know. Did the ending leave any particular taste in your mouth in terms of where it leaves the characters? I think for me the
Um,
idea was just how unhealthy their dynamic is of like how Ramy can move on from what had just happened to him and be just as bad, kind of a thing.
yeah, I feel like I got a little bit lost in the jargon there, kind of used at the end, and I was like, I don't know how much is he conceding him to him.
Oh,
But then
yeah, yeah,
obviously
yeah,
I could tell like he was coming around enough via context clues. Um, yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. Didn't really shock me. I don't know. I feel like there's people kind of flip all the time.
I think there was a moment of adjustment for me when Jeff/Ramy comes in to the breakfast room, and it's obviously awkward, but like the fact he's even there at all and like able to like the whole thing's obviously has the undertone of what's happened, but the fact that even is allowed to transpire and he still gives them gifts and it's like, oh, I'm going to take a shower. You know what I mean? It's like that was a transition moment of like, wow, this is the response, and then yeah, to get out. I agree. Like, I didn't understand the jargon of what they were actually the business wise discussing at the end by the car either, but yeah, I picked up from it that like everything that's happening, despite attempted murder transpiring, despite you know the most insane shit going on between them. Like, it is all just a game to these people. These four people specifically can just play these games with each other and, say it was all bro stuff at the end and say it was all funny and, whatever, and just write it off as whatever they want. Um, but then still come for each other the next time and still write it off the next time because they're not living in the real world is kind of the what I took away from it, Um, the fact that basically, like Jeff and Ven say to each other at the end, like next time I'll fuck you next time, but they're still like do the bro thing at the end. It's just like these people aren't living in reality. Is kind of what I took away from it.
Well, yeah, the implied tension between Ven and the rest of them at the start kind of hints at the cyclical kind of
Right.
there's a cycle to someone getting fucked and then it being an issue, but then they all get together and then it's fine and then they get fucked at the end again. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think the thing is like they can afford that. Real people can't afford to do that.
Yeah,
to each other and
to lose $2 billion to them, mate.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Oh god, yeah. So in that sense, it's a bit of a gross feeling. It's a bit of a yuck feeling at the end in that sense. And I know that Steve Carell has the long gets the I don't know what's the best way to like the long close up at the end. I guess driving away, and I don't know. I just saw that as him being like really bothered the fact that like in his own self-absorbed world, seeing Ven and Jeff together on the same page after he just was trying to kill Jeff. He wanted Ven on his side the night before. And the fact that they're on the same page means he isn't going to become his little cloud upload. You know what I mean? He's not going to be able to live forever. I don't know. Just the whole ending. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that for all the characters, the ending feels so self-absorbed and so dismissive, and it has no real
Soups is like really in his head about the $2 billion at that point.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
and having no real, putting no weight on like the real world stuff that's been happening over the last 24 hours or however many nights it's been. Just having seemingly real no recognition for it.
I think it's a 24-hour movie. Yeah.
I thought it was meant to be a weekend, but then I don't recall there being there's no other night. I don't think.
No,
they stay there. So I don't know, unless it's just kind of quick or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's only one like night that we sort of get.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We can assume that, sure. I got one bit of trivia here which I liked. Would you like me to read it?
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd say no. Because we're running out of time. The anecdote told by Venice about a film of a train scaring moviegoers who were unused to seeing movies is a reference to The Arrival of a Train, a film from 1896. A common myth about this film is that when it was first shown to an audience, many of the patrons believed that a real train was headed towards them and panicked. This has since been found to be an embellishment for publicity purposes. Venice is therefore using a fake fact to bolster a false equivalence regarding his responsibility when it comes to fake news and artificial intelligence deepfakes being spread on the social media platform he owns. I thought that interesting. Oh, I didn't know that about. Did you recognize that fact about The Arrival of a Train? You were nodding.
Yeah, and I also knew that it was exaggerated.
There you go. Yeah, I'd never heard of that. So, like, I appreciated the tying in together of film history lore with the themes of the film. I thought that was quite clever. I like that. All right, we can get to Spooky's really long review of Mountainhead that I've got to read.
I haven't even opened the Discord to see what's going on there.
Spooky wrote his review and said, "Bit of fun. Makes we want to watch Succession."
Oh.
6 out of 10. There you go. Thank you, Spooky. Well done. See, he specifically posted the screenshot of wanting me to read it, so I've got to read it. There it is. So I don't want any pushback on the fact that I read it, and I read it exactly as it was written. Take that. All right. You good? You happy?
Yeah, happy.
Dude, we passed our fucking time limit. Shit.
Your time limit. And you
God
said in
damn
the
it.
edit. You can save this in the edit.
Yeah, I'm cutting like everything we said that was meaningful. All right. Let's get to our final verdicts for Mountainhead, Jaden.
I can probably give it a 4. Do I want to? I don't know. I like. Fuck me. I'll give it a 5. Yeah.
Wow. I'll give it a 7. I enjoyed it.
Whoa.
But not going to be on my top list of the year or anything, but it was a fun little watch. I basically agree with Spooky's review.
Yeah. It makes you want to watch Succession.
What makes me there you go, watch something better to remind me that it wasn't, Armstrong's a good guy. Let's get into a maybe rapid fire news chat. Well, definitely a rapid fire news chat. Otherwise, it's going to be cut because of our time limit.
Good luck.
First of all, Jaden, what was your reaction to Robert Eggers directing A Christmas Carol for Warner Brothers?
It's a bit of a hell yeah moment. It's
Is it?
I don't know. Yeah, it's exciting.
Why?
I don't know, because he did like Eggers in a kind of in that Nosferatu kind of Victorian England, Victorian Europe kind of setting.
Okay.
Maybe a bit whimsical this time. It's like
you want to see a bit of whimsy out of Eggers?
A touch of whimsy.
I wouldn't mind that. But does anyone want to watch A Christmas Carol?
I mean, I'd watch it with him doing it. Yeah. Willem Dafoe is attached.
Of course.
To play the lead. No, not like super attached, but like he's rumored. But like,
I feel like
it's kind of like
that's a shoe.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like A Christmas Carol peaked with Robert Zemeckis, so let's just never try it again.
Boo.
I don't know. Wasn't Eggers? I could have dreamt this. Wasn't Eggers like his next film already like lined up as being a monster film?
I thought he had something else going on as well.
Yeah.
Like the news shocked me for that reason because I thought something else was already like happening.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was though. Was it Wolfman? No.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I thought we talked about that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Maybe he realized that we've got too many Wolfman films because there was that one last year.
Yeah, I do remember that. Wasn't that the Aussie guy who did that?
Oh, yeah. Was it Lee? No.
I think it was. Was it not Lee? I thought
Lee?
it was.
Yeah, Lee.
I think it was.
Lee.
Yeah. Oh well. Jaden, you've got some breaking news to tell me about who's directing The Incredibles 3.
Oh yeah.
I don't know this.
Pick your.
Saving it for the show.
Like,
I've got to guess.
Who's your dream animated director to take over? He's done Pixar before.
Dream animated director. He's done Pixar before. It's a he.
Yeah.
There's not that many male directors, so that narrows it down. Shit, I can't. I mean,
say a movie rather than a name. Then.
I can't think
which
of
movie would you want to pull a director from Pixar?
Well, do you know I know? Are you saying that because you think might not know the director that well?
I don't think you know his name though.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, then I'll change my way of thinking. Okay. Film, Pixar film. Is it the Coco guy?
No, it's the Elemental guy.
Oh, fuck off! No.
But Zach, he also did The Good Dinosaur.
Oh, I like The Good Dinosaur. Well, hang on. But I swear to God,
Peter Son is taking on Incredibles 3. Yes.
I swear to God, when they announced this film, they said Brad Bird's returning.
I wouldn't know about that. Yeah.
I swear to God, they did. I thought that was part of the announcement. No, am I tripping, or did that change?
I didn't know that. Have to check 3 was announced.
Yeah, we talked about it last year. Did they announce it at D23? Yeah. Maybe he's still writing it or something. I don't know. But I mean, I guess that's not surprising in the sense that, Pixar they got the way they produce films over there is that they shuffle in amongst their department. Like you know what I'm trying to say. I'm explaining that poorly, but the fact that they have their sort of slate of directors, if you will, that shuffle between projects, and different animators usually get elevated through the company and end up as a director at some point. So it's kind of, I guess I'm just saying it's not surprising that someone else who's worked on Pixar films would slot in.
Yeah. I think there's quite a bit of things coming out of Pixar this week. Like there's images of like that upcoming Beaver movie or whatever it is. That sounds like a kind of over the hedge kind of thing. Like they know.
Oh, not Hopper? Is that the one you're talking about?
Hopper? Is that what it is?
There is a Pixar movie coming out called Hopper.
The girl can transform into a robot beaver, and it's about fighting property developers from destroying the forest.
Oh.
No.
That does sound like over the edge.
Yeah. So there's that, and then there was images about like a black cat in Venice that kind of it's abandoning the Pixar art style and it's going for like a hand painted type of thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So Pixar's been making moves this week.
Oh, good for them. Good for them. I just found that 2023 August 2024 when they announced The Incredibles 3 when we talked about it at the time that it was in development at Pixar with writer director Brad Bird.
You see, writer director they're describing Brad. They're not saying that he's going to.
That's right. That was deliberately misleading. So Brad's involved in some way. All right, sure. Yeah, well, you certainly hope so.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, fuck. All right. Yeah, you got a big juicy check from it. You also watched this trailer for Eddington, which is Ari Aster's latest film.
Yeah. It's set in COVID times, which surprised me. I didn't really think movies were brave enough to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks fun. It's got a stacked cast. I was kind of hesitant to watch the trailer because I didn't really want to learn about it too much, but
yeah.
Was it all right? Like the trailer gives you a lot, but it is kind of hard to piece together. It is largely going to be about Joaquin and Pedro going against each other as for mayor of the town, but then with this very serious caveat to it. It seems like it as hinted as by the end of the trailer. I think he's going to do something cool because there is quite a bit of gun shooting at the end of the trailer, so there's going to be something interesting going on.
Interesting. So it's not it doesn't sound like it's based on a true story?
I don't think so.
That's I say that. I say that. If it is. Well, yeah. Well, I say that to say that, having to me when you said it's set in COVID times, that screams it must be based on something true. It's interesting to create a fictional scenario in which you choose to involve COVID. It just sounds interesting to me.
I mean, the trailer's the first line of the trailer is Joaquin telling Pedro to back up to 6 feet.
Social distancing, my man. That is interesting. Okay, all right, that sounds.
But it looks like there's some cult stuff going on as well with Austin Butler and Emma Stone and shit like that. So,
oh wow!
Looks like it's gonna be a loaded film.
That sounds meaty. Yeah. Okay. Huh. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen an Ari film, so like I don't know what's going on. But he's known for being a bit eccentric, right? Is that fair to say?
I mean, is eccentric? Right? Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
You tell me.
I don't know. Define eccentric.
Like, these films are kind of wacky, right?
No.
No?
I mean, I mean, Beau is Afraid. Like, I haven't seen that one yet, but like, you might be able to like describe that one to it. But like,
oh, okay,
like Hereditary and Midsommar are not wacky.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I think I was mainly thinking of Beau is Afraid. And didn't he do that other one? I thought there was another more recent one.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, fuck, whatever.
Do you know?
I thought he did another Wacky Phoenix one recently. No, I know Beau was Afraid, but another one. I don't know.
Well,
I also didn't.
To mind is Come On, but like that's not him, is it?
No, I don't think so. I also didn't mean to use the word wacky as a Wacky Phoenix pun.
I had a feeling that came later.
Yeah. Pedro needs to calm down. You know what I mean? This man won't stop being in everything.
Yeah, I saw someone said that in the Reddit comments where it's like, has he had a break in the last 4 years? But then someone underneath that said, the man has like got his break like when he was 40. Like, let him work now. You know, it's like
that's also that's a good point. I like that. I like that point. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that's actually a great point because like most actors, a lot of male actors, I assume, would be like have that peak moment, probably like late 20s, early 30s, like the Timothy age right now, kind of thing. You know, so I like that. Let him enjoy his peak decade. You know, and I think that's exactly what he's doing. So good for him. Now it's time for our highlights of the week. Jaden, what have you been watching?
I watched Clown in a Cornfield. It's a horror film that came out recently. Title. It is a shocking title. Well, I saw the post for it at Reddings, right? And I was like, what piss take of a movie is this? I'm like, I can't believe the studio is pushing out shit like this. And that's what made me watch it because I'm like, I need to see how bad this is. It's actually quite good. It's a slasher comedy that's kind of in the vein of like Thanksgiving or like kind of like a more lighthearted Dark Harvest, you know? Like, we've seen a couple kind of films like it where it's like, especially like, I mean, all throughout horror history, like especially recently, where it's like small town setting, like rich boy and like, you know, his family have something to do, new girl. It's all very like, you know, like the setup's all like very there, but it's got some really funny things. It's got some decent horror, like kind of like kills and stuff. And Katie Douglas is a pretty good lead actress and final girl. I think the rest of the cast is pretty solid. It all ended up being pretty solid, which surprised me from a film called Clown in the Cornfield.
What were they thinking with that one?
I think it was probably to the effect that got me in that. Let's go with this and just get people in here to watch a shit movie and be surprised.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, yeah. How much is it literally just about a clown in a cornfield?
Not much. I mean, like...
All right.
I'll say this. There is a lot of clowns.
There are clowns.
It's
not
clowns,
just a clown.
Yeah.
Wow. Plural. Wow.
Yeah.
That's enormous. Okay. Is that 2025?
25.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm up to 15 for the year, so I'm
dude,
I'm building that list.
Shit, you're doing good. I've watched like nothing this year.
Dude, it's all rubbish though. Like, they are not like, you know, they're not highbrow films.
At least you're watching stuff. I'm concerned, to be honest with you. How's it already halfway through? I mean, it does always pick up towards the end of the year, but still, I'm still a bit concerned. I watched like nothing this year.
Like, my films are like,
God,
horror stuff or like Marvel stuff, and then like there's the occasional good film like Mission Impossible or The Finishing the Scene.
Yeah, right. There's a handful.
Yeah,
but like, okay, think of it this way. I'm going to choose to think of it this way. The fact that we no longer have to watch Rebel Moon Director's Cut means with that extra runtime, I can watch 3. I can watch 3 2025 films. How about that? That's pretty exciting. Unless you nominate it again next time on the podcast.
I think that might be my thing. I'm going to nominate it until it runs. Yeah.
Well, next time, because you've already nominated it, you have to nominate part 2, and we just have to watch the part 2 one only. And be lost.
It requires homework to get to it, so you need to commit 7 hours.
Yeah, you need to do it in the same week. Christ. Oh, God. All right, so this week, I've been watching The Penguin for like 5 months.
Hell yeah.
And finally finished it. Jen,
I haven't watched it.
What have you heard about it, though?
I heard that Colin's really good, and I heard that's a really good Sopranos level crime thriller.
Okay. It's not. Okay. Colin is really good, as you'd expect. You'd expect nothing less from this man. Like, that would be... If someone were to tell me that Colin Farrell's not good in it, that would be astonishing. So, that's that's the bare minimum there, I guess. Not to take away from anything he does. The makeup's still incredible. And the fact he ate full hours of this thing and he had to get in the makeup chair and I assume get there at like 4 a.m. every morning and do it, it's pretty insane. So huge respect to that. It's definitely I think he has in the Batman, I think he has 7 minutes screen time total, if you actually cobble it together. So the fact that if you Cobblepot it together. Although, in this universe, Cobblepot's not his name anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just Cobb.
Oh.
It's Oswald Cobb.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think they thought that Cobblepot maybe sounded too comic booky or something. Bit whimsical, yeah, for the grounded Matt Reeves verse, maybe.
Yeah.
Look, this show's fine. It's fine. I specifically, I think, had the disadvantage of watching it with a little bit too much expectation. Well, I mean, but I've been watching it for the past 5 months, so I very quickly started to understand that it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be or thought it might have been. So I realized that months ago. That's probably why it took me so long. But at first, this show had hype. I think it did. I think that's fair to say it did. Yeah, I think people at the time it came out, it was like,
as it was premiering, it had pretty significant waves as well.
Okay, right. Well, that's good to know because I felt I didn't see that obviously, but I felt that it was coming through to me somehow, fucking the universe, and so anyway, yeah, I don't know. It was fine. That's really all I can say about it. It was solid. It wasn't bad. I don't regret watching it. I think it stuck the landing. If the ending was lame, I would be more down on it. I gave it a 6. Yeah, I'd be more down on it if the ending was lame. But the ending had a couple of oh yeah, okay, that was cool. So thank you for doing something cool at the end. I appreciate that. Not that it was anything mind blowing. It didn't fucking it wasn't a super twist or anything. But it was oh yeah, okay, I get that. That's cool. But man, the truth to get there is just it's fine characters, solid supporting performances in generic mob situations. You could honestly write some of this stuff in your sleep. I'm sorry,
so boring type stuff.
Not at all. It's dude, a comparison to The Sopranos is insulting. I don't know if people were saying that who haven't seen The Sopranos and just think they understand what The Sopranos is and watch this and were oh, it's what I think The Sopranos is. It's what the fuck?
It's more
honestly, it's insulting. What about Boardwalk Empire? Sorry,
is it more like that?
Well, I don't know. Is that what's that show's reputation? I don't know.
I don't know. It's another HBO show. It doesn't make games as well.
Yeah, but I thought people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I thought that was good, but fuck, I don't know. I haven't seen it. Maybe it will be like that. To your point, I'll watch it and go what's this? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of very standard, just mob infighting, fucking gangs warring, schemes to get the other one. It's I don't know. It's just
sounds great.
But it's not. It's just nothing new. It's nothing interesting. It's not particularly done in any interesting way. It's just cookie cutter stuff, in my opinion. It's just I don't know. It's stuff that I don't know how to do this without sounding insulting, but it's I don't know. It's stuff that you'd put on with your family who hasn't seen a lot of stuff, and then they'd all go oh yeah, I like that because then he turned on him and he shot him.
It's your brother's reaction to Den of Thieves.
Such a specific. That's such a specific shout out. But I mean, I kind of want to give Den of Thieves another chance, actually. But yeah, no, it kind of, yeah. I don't know. It's just, it's very fine in my opinion. There's a couple of standout moments throughout, but yeah, I don't know. I just can't imagine watching this and thinking it's like stellar TV by any means. Personally,
it was like one of one of the highest rated shows I watched.
I know that's insane. That's insane. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like this to me. Like if it wasn't the Penguin, if it was, which is actually kind of weird because it's like it's so unrelated to anything Batman. Like it's not. It hasn't even got like the appeal of like, oh, it's got the Batman lore. Like, sure. I mean, it's they say Gotham. They're in Gotham. All right. It's like it's so unrelated to anything else that it's like it hasn't. You can't even like that's not even boosting it for some like as an argument for why some people might enjoy it more. It's just I don't know. I don't get it, honestly. Like, I get my point is, if this wasn't Colin Farrell doing the Penguin, DC, all the other things attached with it, and it was just a mob show that was put on Netflix, this show would 100% just be something that's in the top 10 for like a week. And be like, oh, did you see that show because it's in the top 10 this week? Sure. You know, those kind of shows?
Yeah, like
and then no one talks about them 3 weeks later? That's exactly what the quality of the show is, in my opinion. What can I say?
I think you might have missed my joke there, but that's all right.
Sorry, I did. What did you say?
No, it's fine. You'll hear it later when you edit it.
Oh, okay. All right. Give me a little surprise. I hope it was good. So there's my Penguin rant. I've been waiting. Oh, sorry, I've been waiting on that for a little while. I've been sitting on that. Now comes the segment where we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week, we asked you, to Jaden's dismay, if you could make yourself the CEO of one tech or media company, which would it be? Aiden said, it's got to be Google, aka Alphabet, for me. That one gives you a lot of power, for sure. And I hope Aiden gets in there and fixes the Gemini search thing. Probably by killing it. That would save the environment a lot as well. Andy said, Alibaba. It's known for online shopping and stuff, but it's also a tech company as well, I think. Jaden, can you confirm or deny that?
What?
Do you know anything about Alibaba?
Yeah, it's great. You can buy everything from like, little plastic figures to fucking nuclear like machinery. Like I remember, like we were back in like high school. Like we'd look and like you could like for $260,000 you could buy like a mini like kind of like a mini reactor type thing.
So when people say you can buy anything on Amazon, Alibaba's like
people buy things from Alibaba for like 3 cents a piece, and then resell it on Amazon for $5 a piece.
Okay, so Alibaba's like the Indonesian market of online shopping?
Well, it's Chinese. Alibaba's Chinese.
Oh, it's Chinese.
I'm pretty sure it's Chinese.
I mean, to be honest, to me it sounds Indian.
Well, that's racist.
Well, is that? I guess it is. It does.
Alibaba,
I don't know.
As you're probably thinking Alibaba, Aladdin type vibes. Is that what you're getting?
Yeah.
Well, Aladdin itself is like kind of a racist product because it takes the Arabian Nights setting, and then it takes Indian architecture into the film, and then it uses an Americanized hero against the dark-skinned villains.
You're
very ingrained in racism in liking that film and making that comment in association.
Well, you didn't have to bring Aladdin into that, but you did.
Did you know that Aladdin was modeled after Tom Cruise? I'm sure you've heard that by
now. What? No.
Yeah. The animated Aladdin was modeled after Tom Cruise. He's the only white in that movie,
But Aladdin's not white.
He's whiter than the rest. He's whiter than Jafar.
Yeah, he is whiter than the rest. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. That is true. Okay. So see, I guess I just assumed Alibaba couldn't be Chinese because I just thought Temu was the Chinese one. But like, I guess China can have multiple.
Like Alibaba's been around for a long time. Temu's just coming up in the past couple of years.
I know. Yeah, that is true. I don't know. I guess I just thought, I don't know, it filled the void. I don't know. Again, me being racist in many deep ways here. Dr. Luke said letterboxed. How would he? I don't know. I don't know if I want Luke running letterboxed, to be honest. Like, I know he's
not
like
enough money in that.
Oh, well, that's true. That is true. Luke, I feel like I don't know. Now that he's becoming a cinephile and watching way more movies than me, to my dismay. I don't know, he'll have some radical ideas for Letterboxd that'll change in some way that's upsetting, I feel like.
You're gonna accelerate the TV show edition.
Yeah, the launch of that. When is that coming?
I don't know. It was meant to, like, when the new guys took over, they were like, yeah, it's coming soon.
Yeah, is it just one of the things they put on their, like, dev, like, on their blog or whatever, and then never do?
Yeah, on their roadmap.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I meant. Andy was jealous that he didn't think of Letterboxd, though, which that's fair enough. Andy actually financially contributes to Letterboxd and their success, so that's fair that he would want more of a say. I respect that. Liam said Meta.
At 7:54 p.m., by the way, which is after we started,
came at the last minute there with his answer. You know 100% that Spooky reminded him to type something.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, man. All right. Dr. Leanne said, if I could make myself the head of a media organisation at the moment, it would have to be the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. I would attempt to help balance the news coverage, which has been leaning far too much towards the right in recent years. I would also ensure that as much Australian content as possible continues to be aired. Put simply, if Australians don't tell their own stories, sadly, no one else will. Keep up the great work. Well said, Dr. Leanne. I strongly agree. I don't know if I trust Leanne to run the ABC. You know what I mean? I agree with everything she's saying, but like I wouldn't trust myself because I don't know enough about it. I don't frankly watch it enough. You know what I mean? So I need someone like Leanne to step in and do it for me and do a good job. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, Jane, I'm going to run Lucasfilm because that's what I was born to do. I don't know if you heard, but they need someone right now.
Yeah, they're looking for a replacement.
They're looking for someone literally in this moment. So this is my pitch, all right? I'm going to say yes to greenlight every day Filoni project.
That's what they already do, though.
That's my pitch. Yeah, kind of, yeah. But I'm going to do it more. And if he's got extra ideas, so basically Tony Gilroy's going to come into the room with his next pitch, and Dave's going to come in with 3. I'm going to, and it's like, well, we can only do 2, you know. Oh, I'm going to, sorry, you know what my philosophy is. It's going to be, sorry, Tony.
Like that is very much the internal debate going on at Lucasfilm at the moment. Did you see the quotes this week about like how like Filoni's like people are fearing like Filoni taking over because like the quote specifically was that he's not the Andor guy, he's the Ahsoka guy. Like said like in dismay of like to him like potentially taking that role.
Oh,
and like
yes, I did see that quote. Yes, I don't know if I read it in the context of that, but yes.
Yeah, and I feel like there's it's always been around, especially because of like the amount of retconning that Filoni did with like Clone Wars and stuff like that, like with like in terms of like EU stuff. Like I feel like there's been like a noticeable shift in the online kind of perception of him
after Andor, especially. It sounds like.
Yeah. After people realized how good Star Wars television could be. Yeah.
That's fair.
As soon as they realized that it's not Mandalorian, but the very first type stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand that. I don't know. So, as in the argument is that people are like concerned.
Yeah. And then but you dig deeper into it, and then everyone's like, I don't hate the guy. I actually really appreciate his animated work, but then it's like the comments are always like scathing against him, and it's like actually I don't hate him, but you know, like
right. So it sounds like it's coming from like a place of concern for like the future of like what products are greenlit.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that. I get that. I don't know. I personally, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily fret. I think if anything, if Dave's elevated, that like you know he'll probably be in more that overseer role where other creatives will do more, and like it's less his own shit if you're not into his own shit, his own live action stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I would potentially argue, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, but the fear as well is that like Filoni was like one of like the big voices against Andor behind the scenes.
Oh, I don't believe that for a second, but I mean I don't know. But that sounds
it's interesting like how like because like I've mentioned that to you before and you've like had that same reaction, but like people like
it sounds like a narrative.
I don't want to stick like I don't want to attach too much hate to people online, but like there is quite a lot of people that are like that kind of believe this idea that Filoni's been like a vocal kind of adversity to like Andor.
Yeah, I just
his Star Wars.
I just don't believe it. I really don't, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, call me a fanboy. That's fair. I don't know. I've heard Dave say nice things about Andor so many times. I just would, and obviously he says, obviously I'm not saying he's going to shit on it in public, obviously, but I don't know. I don't see any real argument for it. It sounds like one of those like Reddit narratives that people like to hold on to, as often happens in lots of fandoms that I like. I don't know. But hey, who knows? Hey, if me getting in means that Andor wouldn't be greenlit, then you shouldn't want me in. You know what I mean? You shouldn't want me to be the CEO of Lucasfilm. That's fair enough. Although I think it's actually your president. I think you're a president there. My actual answer, though, is meta. I agree with... I wish Liam would expand a little bit more on his answer. But basically, my philosophy towards this is one of two things I'm still sort of deciding. Because, I've still got a bit of time before I take over the role. So I'm just sort of weighing up which one I'm going to do. I'm either going to fucking kill it, or I'm going to make Facebook usable. I'm still deciding which one.
I feel like Facebook's far too gone.
Yeah, that's sort of my thing. It's like, is it worth saving? Can it be brought back?
I think if you want to save Facebook, you remove everything apart from Marketplace, and you only keep Marketplace.
You just make it Gumtree.
Yeah, but like a good Gumtree that's used by everyone, not just Australians.
Right,
and actually has like
right.
decent products on it, not like $27,000 for 3 Honda Preludes they have to pick up from fucking Orange, New South Wales, and that is the only way that you go. Like, he's only selling 3 of them. You cannot buy them separately. That's not happening on Marketplace. That's happening on Gumtree.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's definitely something to be said about Marketplace. Is that strong enough for me not to kill it, though?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Kill everything apart from Marketplace. Just literally get rid of all the other tabs and just keep it Marketplace.
Yeah. There's so many tabs. Why is there so many tabs?
It is so shit. It's so
bad.
Shit. Like, I only got Facebook in 2019, and even since then, it has gotten worse in the way they've moved their tabs and hidden features within tabs of other tabs. Oh my fucking god.
I could not agree more. It's painful to use. So yeah, no, I like that pitch. You know what? I agree. Marketplace only. We have a standalone app. Everything else, Facebook, it's dead, and that's why I want to be the CEO. Instagram, I'll give it a minute. I'll let it play out. I think Instagram's usable. Yeah,
I think it's got. I think it's had a little bit of that and shitification creep.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, it could go down that road. Yeah, I think it's overall usability wise better than Facebook. But so like, and I think I don't know. It's harmless enough at the moment, I would say, to where I might give it a year or two more to see how it goes. The second the fucking Mountainhead scenario starts playing out, though, that's when I need to have the CEO power to kill it. Also, kill it in the crib.
Well, I think the biggest downgrade to Instagram in the past couple years is its new search. It's Meta AI search rather than like having an actual search bar. It just sucks shit to search these now because it's all done through that Meta AI search. It's just
Yeah. So yeah, that's my answer, Jane. What about you?
I take Spotify for similar reasons to you, where I would just roll back the past 6 years of updates because they've only made the updates. They've only made the program worse. Spotify has actively been killing the music industry. They've been killing the album. They've been promoting the single and the shortening of songs because they value plays over play time, I think. And even then, like, they're not giving money to the artists over that. But, more important than artists getting paid is just how miserable they've made it of the user experience. You can't, the desktop is my main frame of reference. You used to be able to bring up the albums on the full fucking thing. Now, the albums come up on a tiny scroll bar, and they only come up fucking in a fucking grid of 3, and like it's just so miserable to go through them, and like your playlist, and it's just all, oh my god, it's oh my god, dude, Avicii didn't die for this, man. I'm just using that as like Swedish because I spoke about Swedish, but
oh, good reference then.
Yes, it is now miserable.
Wow, good answer. I know it's an answer you're passionate about, so that's a good one.
Yeah,
I was worried that you were just going to boycott the question, but that's it's a good answer.
And fucking, they keep on trying to shove. Oh, did you know that DJ now takes requests? Get your fucking shit AI DJ out of here. I don't need this cunt fucking going. Oh, up next, I got this. Oh, you should click on it. Get fucked, DJ. Get out of
here. Don't you like he's like a hipster black guy?
You listen to DJ?
No, I think I've done it twice, but it's just you know the voice that comes through that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. Because my sister uses DJ, and I have to hear him he's like, hey, I've got some awesome hip hop from 2000.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, get fucked, idiot.
Oh my god! All right, very good.
And like they've killed. It's partly TikTok's fault as well for like the way that the music is like industry has shifted so significantly. But like they kind of feed each other. But like there is such an emphasis on pre-saves now, because pre-saves, if your song or your album gets enough pre-saves, when it drops, it gets like high priority on getting into like a Spotify playlist. So like people, instead of just like dropping songs, or like they say, hey, we're gonna drop a song now, they release like a fucking teaser for the song 3 months before, and then they release a song and it was like, oh, and our album's coming soon, so you should pre-save it now. It's like it's just muddled up the fucking release process, because it's no longer single. Oh, let's chuck that all on the B-sides, and we'll have our singles and B-sides here, and then we'll have the album. It's all part of this kind of cohesion. It is just get this shit out, get hyped for this, build this up, stop this. Like it's like it's always been an industry and a game, but the way that it's shifted is it really feels like it's harming a significant portion of like the artistry of it. It felt like it used to, the artists and the industry kind of used to work together a bit more than whereas now, the artist has to really bend to the way the industry is working.
Right. Don't artists make way less money now versus like 20 years ago in the CD sales days?
Yeah, but this is a thing of like, you need like, it's the whole like Metallica versus Napster thing where like not Metallica, Napster. It was, what was it? Maybe it was still Metallica. It was like one of the big, maybe it was Pearl Jam. One of the massive bands was really against having their songs digified and put onto iTunes, because that's not how they wanted it. Because they weren't going to be making money, and it wasn't right for the experience. Because you should be buying the album, reading through the lyric booklet, looking at the images they have associated with it, rather than just clicking play and having it go. There used to be a whole crafted experience. But then like the end goal, like the end product was that you had to concede, because if you didn't, you'd be forgotten behind, and it's better to make something than nothing. So like, artists are making fuck all, but like, like what can you do?
Yeah, that's right.
But that is right. Also in hand why the concert industry is going to shit, because artists make most of their revenue off of merch sales and concert tickets now, and so like they're going up, and you're just getting merch drop after merch drop, and the quality is getting worse and of the merch, but it keeps on coming, and there's another drop, and there's another exclusive drop, and there's and there's 14 fucking colored vinyls, and it's halting production in the factories, because Taylor Swift has released a 25th edition of fucking Midnights. So now that she's done up to edition 25 of that, and we're fucking printing 100,000 of those, the independent fucking label can't print their 100 records for this artist. So now records are going up to fucking $80, per fucking thing. Oh my god. Music's a mess at the moment, and Spotify is significantly to blame, as well as TikTok and Taylor Swift. And Ticketmaster.
Wait, Taylor Swift how?
Because she clogs up the record factories. Because she has to print fucking 100,000 versions of her albums.
Oh,
so
shit.
then it makes everything else, fit into a queue, and then because of that, because of material use, everything goes up in price. And then now JB is selling fucking a Turnstile record for $87, and it's like, oh my god.
Wow, can people just not like Taylor Swift, please? For many reasons, actually, but
yeah.
Wow. All right. I'm really glad this question turned into a really passionate rant. I'm really glad.
But at the same time, like Spotify has given you so much access to music. Like Spotify is a fantastic thing. I have 8,500 songs saved. I can't do that with physical media. So like 100%. Streaming has their place, and it can be a wonderful thing. But at the same time, like I said, it's just been they've made decision after decision after decision to prioritize business and hurt artists to where it's no longer a balanced relationship of, we make money, you make art. It's now we need to keep on making fucking money, and you keep on making need to make shit about it.
What's the answer other than like the old iTunes model of you buy albums digitally and then have them all saved on your account?
I mean, the thing is, I think Spotify is still losing money, isn't it? Wasn't that the stat? Like, even though they're paying artists fuck all, I think they're still like losing money.
Is Spotify profitable yet? Yeah, they definitely weren't for a long time. I don't know what's going on there. In 2024, the company reported its first ever annual net profit.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So yeah, it's just turned. Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's the audience's fault as well for just consuming slop. Like, like stop accepting a minute and a half songs. Stop waiting 3 months. For an artist to release a minute and a half song that is half finished, and it took 16 people to fucking work on. Like, come on, man. Like, do better. Listen to other people. I don't know what the fix is. At all. I don't know.
God, this is the most doom and gloom podcast we've ever done.
Hey, us, man.
Everything sucks. It's all over.
Yeah.
Everything's worse. Oh God, we may as well just wrap it up before one of us becomes
Sean
suicidal.
Parker. He's the one saying
fuck Sean Parker. Agreed. As always. All right, we'd love you to submit your responses, thoughts, and/or reviews for next week's film in the YouTube or Instagram comment section, or join the Discord server. Speaking of YouTube comments, I did actually really appreciate Luke's comment this week about did you see Luke's Dina comment?
No, on YouTube.
In the last episode. Check it out. You'll enjoy it. I won't spoil it for you. The specific question of the week we'll be asking you is, who should be the next James Bond? Let us know. This is something that we've obviously talked about in passing, in conversation amongst ourselves on the show before, but we want definitive answers and we want to hear what you think. Who should be the next James Bond? Want to get in now before it's probably announced. Honestly, I know we talked about this announcement being delayed, like it's something they would have announced by now. I feel like it's got to be announced this year, right? It's got to be this year.
I feel like Craig Bond was announced pretty close to
shooting.
Royale dropping and probably shooting more. Like in 2004, he did Layer Cake, and I don't think he wasn't Bond at that point, but like he played a Bond type character, so that by the time that Casino Royale came around, he'd be like, oh, he played like a different one. So.
Yeah, okay. So maybe a year and a half out or something.
Yeah, like to when you expect a movie, 18 months ish.
Yeah. I don't know, I just feel like they've got to be moving. I don't know. Obviously, the news earlier this year was when Amazon acquired the rights. So it's like, I would expect they'd want an announcement and to be moving on something by the end of this year, I would hope. But I don't know. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Jaden, what are we doing next week?
We are doing Younger Brother. It's a 2024 film. Coming of age type thing. It shares its name with a rideshare app.
Oh yeah.
I think I think it's on Netflix. Is that where we decided?
It's on Netflix, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is on Netflix. Yeah.
Didn't trust me, but anyway.
Yep. I mean, I had it up anyway. Like I was already in the process of.
Sure. That's fine. That's fine. Awesome. Did you like Luke's comment?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Actually, It turns out I'd already seen it and thumbs up, but you
See, I knew one of you. I assumed one of you had thumbs it up, but I didn't know if it wasn't you. It might have been Liam, but it was you.
I also thumbed up Jonathan6298's comment where he's talking about
shit about me.
Happen in Seattle Day 1. If you're wondering what that thumbs up is, well,
Yeah. God. Oh well, I thought it might have been you hater. All right. Yeah. I appreciate Jaden for joining me as always. I appreciate Liam wherever he is. Hope he's safe. Have a great rest of your week. Because I'm concerned he might have been abducted. Like one of his, we've been doing the show 5 years now. One of his kids in the cupboard, like, it could have become a full adult by now and like fucking payback. You know what I mean?
Overpowered him. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking now he's in her cupboard. You know what I mean? All right. Have a great rest of your week and goodbye.